Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. First of all, I want to wish you all a very happy new year, filled with love, joy, health, peace, and most importantly, plenty of new amazing fragrance discoveries. And I thought, what better way to kick off 2025 than with a perfume haul. So here I've got a mix of designer and affordable fragrances that I purchased in the second half of December. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. So the first fragrance that I got is the classic Tresor from Lancome. This is the EDP. It came out back in 1990 and the nose behind it was Sophia Groisman. This is a classic 90s fragrance and I really love it. This is not my first bottle. I had it before. Actually, I used up my bottle about a year and a half ago and I finally repurchased it. This is a really nice rose peach fragrance. It's powdery, it's comforting, it's warm, it's sweet, but also fresh at the same time. It's such a special fragrance. It has lots of sandalwood in the dry down and that juicy, a bit sour peach in the opening. It's such an elegant fragrance, not for everyone, but I absolutely love it. It's delicate, it's romantic, but it does last, it projects, it performs. If you take a look at the original advertising campaign from the 90s with Isabella Rossellini, you will absolutely understand what vibe this fragrance evokes. It still does. It may have been reformulated, maybe it's not as strong as it used to be, but to me, this is still the Tresor I remember. The bottle is just a piece of art. It's beautiful. It's such a stunning fragrance. I can't say enough good things about this one. I love it. So that's Tresor from Lancome. If you would like me to do a full review of this fragrance, let me know in the comments. The next fragrance that I got is Miracle, also from Lancome, and this was released back in the year 2000. I would describe it as a pink, musky floral, and it's another one of those Lancome classics that I've always wanted to add to my collection. I did smell it before. I went to my department store and unfortunately they didn't have it because nowadays Lancome only promotes the 26 flankers of La Vie est Belle, the Idole range. They don't really care about their classics, which is sad because I had to ask for it and they didn't have it. But they did have Hypnose and Poème. They did have those two. And I want to repurchase those as well. But let's talk about Miracle. Miracle is your typical early 2000s fragrance. It's a nice, fresh pink floral with spicy and fruity touches. It opens very fresh, very zingy, floral, energizing, a bit soapy, but it's also slightly spicy, which makes it interesting. The florals in this fragrance are mainly white florals. I can definitely smell some rose, even though it isn't listed. I don't know why. And it also has a nice musky base. And it also has a very nice fruity opening. Lychee is the main note in the opening. This fragrance is very uplifting. It's a happy scent. It's magical, like the name, but nothing special really. It's just a nice fragrance. It smells like the early 2000s. It's your typical pink floral. If you tried fragrances like Versace Woman, Bright Crystal from Versace, Coco Mademoiselle, Chanel Chance, that kind of fragrance. The performance could be a bit better, but this has moderate sillage and it lasts about 6 to 7 hours on my skin, which is okay. I only paid $29.99 for this one, euros. So about $30, about £27 maybe. So it was very affordable. I would say this is very simple, but delicate and chic, and definitely not too juvenile or young smelling. I really love the name. I love the bottle, and I also really like this font on the box. So this fragrance is nothing groundbreaking, nothing to write home about, as they say, but it's a nice everyday fragrance, I would say. And it does feel like a breath of fresh air for me because I've been wearing my vanilla fragrances, patchouli fragrances, my heavy, spicy, ambery, oriental fragrances. And every once in a while, you just want to reach for something a bit more simple, easier to wear, easier on the nose, but still comforting and elegant and put together. And both Tresor and Miracle serve this purpose for me. The next one that I got is Amor from Cacharel. This came out in 2003. And unfortunately, this one was a fail. I've wanted to try this one for the longest time. It's a nice, sweet, fruity scent. You get a burst of freshness in the opening. You get some blackcurrant. It's sweet. It has some nondescript florals. It smells like a cocktail when you spray it on. It's a sweet scent and it has vanilla in the base. But to me, this smells just a bit too juvenile for my taste, especially when it dries down. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter. I know that it's a classic, but not for me. I like it in the air. I like it on paper. I don't really like it on my skin. I like the opening, but after a while, I just can't stand it anymore. The performance is good though, so if you like the scent, this one is still amazing, even though it has been reformulated at some point. And while this is a bit similar to Miracle from Lancome, but Miracle is not as sickly sweet and it's much more elegant. I can wear it. I love the scent. I love the dry down. It's more musky in the dry down. This one is just fruitiness and vanilla. I don't really get any musk. I don't get any woods. It's just your typical sweet, juvenile, fruity vanilla fragrance. It does evoke that Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, early 2000s pop culture aesthetic. It really does, but it's just not for me, unfortunately. Moving on, I've got 3 more Avon fragrances that I got in a bundle, so I couldn't really choose them. And the first one that I got is Summer White. This one was released in 2011 and it's supposed to be a fresh grapefruit musky fragrance. And this one unfortunately doesn't really work on my skin, which is not really surprising because I don't normally like fragrances like this. But as I said, I got this in a bundle. I bought the bundle because I wanted another fragrance, but I got this one as well. And yes, this could be a nice summer fragrance for someone who likes this type of scent. I don't really like, the fresh aquatic fragrances, fresh musky aldehydic white floral, but it doesn't really smell expensive. It smells quite cheap, I'm not going to lie. So I wouldn't recommend this one. That's Summer White from Avon. And here I've got another Avon, same story. I got it in a bundle. This one's called Pur Blanca or Blanca. I do really like this fragrance. It's also a fresh floral, but it's not as synthetic smelling and screechy as the previous one. This one is a freesia peony rose musk fragrance. Again, it's a nice, fresh, summery floral. This one came out in 2003 and the nose behind it was Harry Fremont, who also created Knowing by Estee Lauder, if I'm not mistaken. But this fragrance is just your typical summery, aquatic, fresh floral. And this is the kind of scent profile that I don't always like. It can go really wrong for me. But this one I do like and I'll be keeping it. And I can't wait to test it out in the spring. Last but not least, we've got Sensuelle from Avon. This one came out in 2013 and let me tell you, this is my kind of fragrance. This is white floral, ambery, vanillic, sweet. It reminds me of Organza by Givenchy, just a little bit. They're not dupes by any means. But this is a really nice, expensive smelling fragrance. I have a sneaky suspicion that it was discontinued at one point. I have a very large travel spray, which I will be using, definitely. I also got this one in a bundle. I'm really not surprised that it smells so good because it was created by two master perfumers, Olivier Cresp and Harry Fremont, who, as I said, also created Knowing by Estée Lauder, I think. And Avon does actually hire master perfumers to create their fragrances, so you will be able to find many hidden gems. And if you're interested in any other Avon fragrances, my friend Bo from Talk to the Hand Reviews just recently did a buying guide of all the currently available Avon fragrances. So go subscribe to the lovely lady. I will leave the link in the description. So these are all the fragrances that I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye.